Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a lovely blustery wet day
It's rather windy.
We are once again at the secret location, and behind us is the van. Do you want to know what we're up to today? I'll let Mel tell you all about it.
Today we're going to attempt to fit a diesel heater to Rebecca's van. Chilly, and I've got to get on the floor. We've got to remove the seat, drill some holes, remove the fuel tanks. We're going to plumb the diesel heater.
Sorry.
We're going to plumb the diesel heater directly into Rebecca's fuel tank rather than fit a separate fuel tank. Something I've never done before, I have to admit.
So this is going to be interesting.
Very interesting for me anyway. I don't know about you guys, but it will definitely be interesting for me. A brand spanking new Ford Transit Custom. The best thing is it doesn't belong to me, it belongs to Rebecca.
So the pressure's not on.
No pressure on my part.
Wish us luck.
See you in a bit. It's a big one.
What a big erection.
Nice.
There we go.
Right, let's bring you up to date on what I'm doing. If you come around here, you can see. So we're going to mount the diesel heater underneath Rebecca's seat using the standard mounting plate that comes with it. Now what a lot of people do is they will replicate these holes in the floor of their van, and really it's okay to do that, but you're better off using like a bigger hole saw like this and cutting a hole like there and a hole there, not in this plate, in the floor. Actually, bring the camera up and look down to make it more clear. Right, so the mounting plate's going to go here. I've checked underneath. I've drilled a couple of pilot holes to make sure it's not going to interfere with the chassis rails. So now I've marked where that's going to go, and I know the diesel heater is going to fit there. I'm now going to drill one hole there like that, using that pilot hole as a guide. Another hole there like that. That will give us two holes this side, and then I shall, with my jigsaw, cut down there like that. So we're going to end up, if I use my pen we can be a little easier, we'll end up with like this, like this. What we'll end up with
Boobies.
okay, we can end up with an oval shaped hole like that. Not boobies, no, okay, not boobies. And the reason we want this oval shaped hole, this is serious. When we mount this on here, we're going to put the exhaust on here, the inlet and the fuel pipe, run our cable through this slot here as well. We're going to bolt all that to the diesel heater, and then because we've got a slot in the floor, all we've got to do is now tip this up, lay it down on the floor,
push it through,
and then that will all fit through there nice and easy, and then we can screw these 4 screws into the floor, and that's our diesel heater nice and secure in the van.
I was going to show you, this is a 64mm Erbauer hole cutter from Screwfix, and then we also got the connecting mandrel for the centre to cut the hole.
That was about a tenner, wasn't it?
It was about £4 something for that,
And £4 something for the other bit, so it's about a tenner.
£4 that, yeah, it's a tenner. Yeah, it's really good.
Well, I'm just going to, using those pilot holes, I'm just going to get underneath and make sure that this doesn't foul the chassis rail. I've got a funny feeling it's a bit close, look. Oh, look at that, we might just get away with that. So there's our 2 pilot holes, one there, one there. You can see the chassis rail is here. And if I use this, put it over, you can see it's not going to interfere with the chassis rail. There you go, it's pretty close, but it's going to be okay. Now it will means I'm going to be cutting into this a little bit, but that's alright, that doesn't matter. But that's why we drill these little pilot holes, just to make sure. And unfortunately I can't get this any closer because of that mounting plate, unless I modify the mounting plate. I might take a look at that. Another nice big hole in Becky's van. There you go, so that's our oval hole. You see that?
Yeah.
Nice and neat. Whoa. Alright, stop fanning around. Now here's a little tip for you budding diesel heater fitters out there. Once you've fitted the studs to this, take the tops off, just grind them off like that. Don't leave them sticking out because it makes it really awkward to put the Jubilee clips on. So just whip them off with an angle grinder. Makes a much better job and it's so much easier to install them. There you go, let's get this bad boy installed. So here's our heater, all prepped and ready to go in.
Do you know what this means?
I've already pre-installed the wiring loom with the plug for the diesel heater fuel pump because that's going to be underneath Becky's van. So we've got the exhaust attached, the inlet attached. You can see all there. I've got a bit of a silicone seal going around there, heat resistant silicone seal. So all I've got to do now is slide that in the hole. So I'm going to drop the fuel pump plug through the hole first, followed by the rest of the pump, the diesel gubbins. Yes, gubbins is a proper word, by the way. Through it like that. Make sure it's not fouling up. There we go. Our diesel heater is going to fit like that. So all I've got to do now is screw the holes down into the plate. We're done. That's how we fit a diesel heater in a camper van.
It worked! I finally invented something that works!
Now, can you get in place first? Right, okay. Alright, that's easy, isn't it?
Oh, face full of diesel.
Oh no. Oh gosh, thank you. Thank you.
It's really close.
Oh,
There's no
dear.
way that standpipe would work.
No, it's too
I can't
close.
even get
isn't
my
it?
hand up there.
Yeah, so we'll have to think again. Thank you so much.
that's right. I'm gonna have to wash this off. Oh,
We're going to have to go and get something else, aren't we?
diesel face.
I got it out on my own, but putting it back because it's full of diesel. It's sloshing that way. It's sloshing that way. I think if we drop it down again, you're gonna have to make sure you got as little diesel in it as possible.
Okay.
And of course.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Is it in there?
Yeah.
The battery in my torch has gone flat. Is it in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've just got to find the bolt now. I think I threw it in there. Yep, there we go. I could probably have this in like engine out, everything stripped out of it in an afternoon. Honestly,
You're in your element,
yeah.
aren't you, love?
Eh?
You're in your element.
Yeah. I used to strip Ford Sierras literally to a bare shell, like in an afternoon.
Oh. Well, I'm not letting you do that to my
And I used to
van.
build kit cars.
Right, we're calling it a night. Mel has done an incredible job, and with the help of Adrian as well, who's also been a star, they've been able to get the tank back up under. The diesel heater is fitted. However, we couldn't fit the fuel line into the tank because of the way that the tank fits under the base of the vehicle. So I've ordered a part which should come in the next few days, hopefully.
Yeah, it's good.
I'll link it down below because I saw Alex from Mispronounced Adventures video. Fantastic. It's got us out of a jam.
Yeah,
Mel's
well
done
done, Alex.
incredible. So it means that we're going to have to come back and do it another day once we get that part so that we can add on to the fuel line. But you'll see that next. So we're going to pack up I'm going to get this man some well-deserved food and shelter back home, and a shower. And yeah, we're going to call it a day. But this guy has just done absolutely incredible today. So thank you so much to Mel and, of course, Adrian for helping. All right. So we're going to get packed up and go.
So as you can see, Rebecca's van is considerably smaller than mine, so we don't want to fit a tank like I've got in my van. We want to suck diesel directly from her main fuel tank. Now there's two ways we can do this. We can use a standard standpipe like this, which is what we tried. We learned that the best way to suck diesel from a full transit custom fuel tank is to use one of these, all thanks to Alex Frood, mispronounced adventures. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to drop Rebecca's fuel tank once again and fit one of these little standpipes. Right, let's get the jack out, get the axle stands underneath Rebecca's van, get her fuel tank out and install this little tiny standpipe. Save Rebecca a heap of room in her van by not installing the standard diesel heater fuel tank, which you all know I really don't like, because if you have a leak or any problem with your fuel line with one of those tanks, like I said earlier, you've got no way of shutting the fuel off and your van is going to be flooded with fuel. Here's the jack I used. It's a Mercedes jack. It was full of air. It wasn't easy to jack this up. So here's the fuel tank anyway. Now the fuel tank is held up in place by two straps. This strap here, and there's another strap there. And these straps are held up to the chassis of the van via these nuts. So what we're going to do, we're going to undo this nut and remove it completely. Again, undo this nut and remove it completely. The two at the back, we're just going to undo them and wind them out about, I don't know, ½ an inch, and that'll give us enough room to just push these straps off to one side and swing them right round to the other side, allowing the tank to drop. But before we drop the tank, we also need to undo one other bolt. And that other bolt is behind here. We need to undo one other bolt, and that bolt is this one here, which allows the filler pipe to release from the filler neck, which is up here, there. And this filler neck will simply drop down out of the hole. There's no cap to undo, it will simply just slide down out of its socket, and we need to remove this nut completely. So that's basically it. All you need to do is remove this nut, take these two out, and the whole tank will drop. Oh, but one other thing, you will need to release the fuel lines, which are these two clips here, and just at the back here there's a cable up here which you probably won't be able to see, but you can just about feel it with your hand, and it's the main cable, and I'll show you what that looks like once we get the tank out. To undo these fuel pipes, they've got a safety mechanism which you need to pull down. See if I can do this one-handed. Don't know if I can. So you've got this blue clip around here, so you push that blue clip up. No need to remove it straight away, all the way I should say, and this grey clip you push in. You don't remove it, you just push it in like that, and then you should be able to release this pipe. There you go. It's so easy, I can do it one-handed, but before I pull that right out, I want to get a bowl to catch any fuel that happens to drop out. So you go, I do hope you could see that. There's a blue clip which you push up, the grey clip you push in, and the same goes for this one here, except it's on the side and it's marked white. This is so that when you put it back together you don't get them in the way. Right, let's remove these pipes, undo that electrical clip, and then move these straps out of the way. Really simple, right? So before I undo any bolts, I'm going to release this electrical cable. There you go, electrical plug, that comes out, and it is literally a case of pushing down on the top and then unplugging it. The actual clip is attached to the tank itself. But once you've undone that plug, that's all the electrics you need to undo. So now let's undo our fuel line, which is here. We get our bowl, let's turn the camera around the other way so you can actually see it because the sun's glaring. So that fuel line, simply unpull, and there will be quite a bit of fuel come out, but it's nothing to worry about, it soon stops. Let's get the bolt underneath, we don't want fuel everywhere. That's it. There you go. A little bit of fuel. Don't worry, it will stop eventually. Hopefully you can see this. You don't need any tools to do this. Pull that white clip free like that. You hear that click. So there's that white clip. Now the brown part you push behind it. I'm not going to be able to film this, I don't think, without getting diesel everywhere. You push that and then it should come out. Right, I'm going to put the camera down, can't do this one-handed. Just push it in to release the tension, and then there you go. So what I did, I actually pushed this up to release the tension before pushing that brown or grey clip in. There you go, it's a good shot of the mechanism. You can see it there. You've got the safety clip on the outside which you pull out, and then this grey piece you push in. You can see how it works there. It's like a double clip. They both go together and stop it coming undone by mistake. So whilst that's draining, I'll go and find some sockets, try and do the nuts we need. 13mm socket, that's all it is, and I think that's a 10mm nut up here that we need to undo for the filler pipe. So a 10mm bolt here, we need to get rid of that. We're going to undo this one first so there's no strain put on this bolt when we drop the tank. Try and undo these components in this order if you can, if you do this job. It's very important. Right, that one out of the way, and we'll put our nut somewhere safe. Don't forget to put this somewhere safe because you're going to need that to put it back. Our 10mm socket by our 10mm bolt so we know where it is. Now we're going to remove this strap. We're not going to remove the strap completely. We're going to slacken these ones off like that, and then the one at the back, which is here, back one, we're just going to slacken, literally just slacken it off and undo it about halfway. Should have got a longer extension really. Nice and loose, couple of turns. Same with the rear one as well. Just undo that. Just get it nice and loose. Don't remove it completely, because all we want to do is move these straps around. We just want to drop these straps, like undo the other end, and then swing them round so they're out of the way and free of the tank. Before I undo these straps, I'm going to reposition myself so that the tank is actually above me, and then that way I can use my knees to lower the tank down onto my belly and then slide out of the van, slide out from underneath the van with the tank resting on my belly. There we go.
It's definitely a lot lighter.
That's the tank removed from the Ford Transit. Custom, as you can see, really simple, easy job to do. But if you're going to do this job on your own, don't be crazy, get someone to help you. So here's the fuel sender unit, and on top of here you've got this extra spare nipple sticking up here. You can see it's got a collar ready for the new clamp to go over the top. So all we're going to do is cut this top off, exposing it and making it so it's actually a hole like a straw, and then the straw that came with our kit will go down inside, and then it's got a special clip that goes on top and it seals it inside the hole. And the way it seals it is quite ingenious. Let me just get it out and I'll show you. So here's the entire kit. This is what it looks like. Let's just angle that down a bit. Let's see if we can open this. Now this is the ingenious bit. If you look at this, it looks like a cork, like a stopper, like a test tube stopper. You can see how the shape of it is kind of angled. So when this goes down inside that other tube, it's going to wedge itself down inside, and the flat top of that gets pushed down by the flat top that's inside here. So that's going to push down, hold that pipe in place, and it's going to be sealed by this orange bung here. Does that make sense?
I think so, yeah.
Does that make sense? There you go. Anyway, let's do it. Let's cut that off, put this in place. But first, I think we're going to need to make sure it's shorter than that.
Yeah.
Because by the looks of that, it's going to go right down to the bottom of the tank, and you're going to be able to suck all the diesel out of the tank, leaving you stranded, no doubt.
Well, it needs to be half of that.
So yeah, we need to cut this, measure it, and then work out so it's just above the bottom of the actual tank. Okay, so after carefully checking the instructions, you do actually cut this in line with that top lip there. So we need to cut it around about here, and it's got to be a nice clean straight cut, straight enough for this bung to fit in and seal it. Show people. So there you go, that's the little cap cut off. I've cut it a little bit wonky, but that's okay because we can actually remove a little bit of that there. Yeah, that's pretty straight. I think that'll be fine. The circumference is perfectly round. So now this will fit in there. I've got to trim it. I'm just going to force it in to make sure it actually sits. Yeah, look at that. See how that sits in there lovely. So now when we put the cap over the top, that's going to force that down, that bung in, and seal it. I see no problem with that at all. Now we need to work out how long it's got to be. Now to work out how long our pipe's going to be, I'm simply going to place it inside the hole like that. If I can get it in there, like that. Wait for it to touch the bottom of the tank, which is there. You just feel it touching the tank. I'm now going to pinch the pipe where it is, there like that, measure the length of this, and then that way we know how long, or how long the drop is to the bottom of the tank. So I'm going to measure that. So we've got 21 mil. So now from the top of here, 21 mil down, we know if we cut it there, the bottom of our tank, the bottom of our pipe is going to be touching the bottom of our tank, but we don't want it touching the bottom of the tank, because we want a bit of reserve fuel left in the tank if ever it does get that low. So we're gonna, how far down do you want it?
19, 18?
19, I reckon 18. That way you've
got 2 centimetres or 3.
30 millimetres. 18, yeah.
That's
so we're going to cut this 18 mil long. That will give us that much fuel left in the tank. That way, when the fuel in the tank reaches down below that much, we're not going to drain the tank completely. So if we measure from there to there, 21, we're going to do it at 18. That leaves 30 mil of fuel in the tank.
Yeah.
To get you to a petrol station. Right, okay. So we're cutting it 18 mil long. Final decision?
18 mil, yeah, because you've got the whole of that tank, haven't you? At 18 mil, 30 mil.
So to install the pipe, like I said, we simply drop that in place like that. The little orange bung is going to cause a seal. As you can see, look, that's a really nice tight seal. That's nice and rubbery, that is. Then our cap is simply going to go over the top of that, and it should click in place. There you go, hear the click? So that isn't going to come off of there.
That sounds nice and substantial.
Yeah, that is, you know, that'll never come off of there, not without pushing these in anyway. So now we can take our feed for our diesel pump off of here. Now whilst we were waiting for the standpipe kit to turn up, we went ahead and bought an upgraded kit for the Chinese diesel heater. This is the solid nylon fuel line. It's much better than the green standard fuel line they've started to send out nowadays. I've seen some bad reports about this green line, even though I've used it myself in my van, because this is Rebecca's van, gone the extra mile and brought the upgraded fuel line kit.
Thank you, darling.
You're welcome. So in the kit, you've got all these rubber connectors plus a filter, and I like these filters as well. These are much better, these filters. and we simply slide that over there like that. Really nice tight fit as well. Better fuel line clips than come with the standard kit. That goes over there like that. We do that up with a screwdriver, and then our nylon pipe simply goes on there. We then put the tank back in place, connect it up to the diesel heater, fire it up, and hey presto, we've got a nice warm van. That is of course if I can get the fuel tank back into Rebecca's van. Last time Adrian helped me, and even then it was a struggle. Wish me luck. Now I've deliberately put the fuel line clip this way up so it's a lower profile. It's not, the nut isn't sticking up. So I don't know how much clearance we got underneath there.
Oh no, we don't, do we, Governor?
This is the better pipe as well. It's got the braided inside. It's not just rubber, it's braided inside. You can see the little dots around there. So it's got like material braiding.
Oh, that's good.
So this is really good. If anyone wants one of these kits, I'll make sure I'll put a link in the description to where I got this upgraded fuel line pipe kit from. I got it off eBay. I was a little bit sceptical because some of them you get this pipe and it's just rubber. But this is proper fuel line. It's braided. It's got the
nodules?
No, what's it called? The material going through it.
Silicone?
Cord. It's got the cord going through it, so it makes it extra strong. So now I'm going to push that pipe in as far as I can. Make sure we've still got a bit of flex. Do that up. Remember, this isn't high pressure. This is actually going to be sucking the fuel, so there's no pressure involved, but there is vacuum. So we don't want any air leaks, because if there's an air leak, it will suck air instead of fuel. Yeah, there's no need to force it because there's no actual fuel pressure. It's vacuum, not pressure. Right, so now that's all done up, I'm going to leave this hanging loose like that. Probably put it to the front there so it's out of the way. So all I've got to do now is actually replace the fuel tank back underneath Rebecca's van. Fingers crossed for this one. Nice and easy, and then we do that nut up again underneath here, and that holds it in place. So now the first thing I'm going to do is connect these fuel lines back up, because we don't want any more fuel dripping on us. I'll try and bring the camera around, might be able to see a better angle with that. Give Becky a thumbs up, because I think that she made it a lot easier for me getting that tank in. Well done. Show us your back. Show us your back. Oh yeah, this side you're really dirty on your arm. You might have to take that off and give it a shake. My hoodie. So we're going to do these up. This one first. Make sure that is in the right place. Yeah, you can't really go wrong.
It's fitted so to the contours of the van.
Yeah, it's moulded to the shape of the van, so
you can't get it in the wrong place.
as you can see, this cable here, that you just have to use your hand and guide it back into the huge plug that's sitting on top of the tank. That's it, it's there. If I push it, you'll hear it clip. There you go, hear that little tiny click, and that's in place. I've got to tighten these up, the 4 straps. that one. Sit nice and firm and tight. Now we're going to change sockets. Take our 13mm socket off. Put our 10mm socket on. Oh, there's our 8mm bolt with a 10mm. No, it's not. It's a 6mm bolt, I think. Oh, anyway, our bolt is our bolt for our fuel pipe, fuel filler pipe. That goes back into place in a minute. I've done that up tight, so everything's done up. Here's our fuel line for our diesel heater. Before I drop the van down, I'm just going to ask Becky to jump in the van, start it up, then that way I can check there's no fuel leaks and that it actually still runs. Okay babe, can you start it up? Yeah, sure. I'll just get out first. So that's our filler pipe, that's all in there, that's all secure.
Clutch on.
Yeah, you're alright, jump in it. Just start it up as you normally would. Take it out of gear though, yeah. Yep, still goes. There we go, we're golden. Just check for leaks. So with the engine running, I'm simply going to wipe the fuel lines that I disconnected just now. Like this. Just wipe the diesel off. And we can see if there's anything dripping. And there's not, it's completely dry. They really are dry, so I'm quite happy with that. There's nothing dripping out of there. If it had a leak, it would be really obvious it was leaking. So yeah, that's it. We're all good. There you go. It's all done, love.
Brilliant.
See what? That's how you connect a diesel fuel line to a full transit custom. So you are. It's a really simple job. That's how you fit a standpipe to full transit custom. For those of you that are interested, Rebecca got the standpipe kit from Transit Custom Campers. I'll put a link in the description to where she got this from, purely for your convenience. Apparently they've sold out at the moment, but yeah, hopefully that by the time I upload this video they'll have some more in stock. She's busy making videos right now.
Watch this video and we can get a quick shopping list.
Let's go and have a spy on her, shall we?
Hello.
Busted. By not installing the standard diesel fuel pipe tank. Becky's brought an updated fuel line for her diesel pump because we don't like that orangey colour.
Green. It's lime green. You're good at trusting.
Well, that's nice to know.
Put the fire on, please, Daddy.
Monty wants the fire on. Monty wants me to put the wood burner on, look.